Good evening, everyone. Apologies for my voice this evening. I am with a cold, so welcome to our British Touring Car Shakedown event. So I am your host, Dennis Mitchell, even though I don't sound like myself. I might not be joined by Sean Woodgate tonight. I did not invite him, and I wasn't too sure if we would be doing this. We're just having a few server issues, so the server has been changed with the number of guys we're having joining. It looked like we were having some kind of issues with the speed, so I've increased the speeds. So hopefully everything is much better now. We will see. But welcome. This is the 2022 Alwin British Touring Car Championship Shakedown event, coming to you live from Landmark Park in Lakeville, Connecticut in the United States. This is not going to be a championship event. This is a shakedown event. The official championship will start next week only. So let me show you what our championship is all about. So championship will be round 1 from Donington Park, round 2 from Silverstone, round 3 from Knockhill, round 4 from Thruxton, round 5 from Oulton Park, round 6 from Assen, round 7 from Croft, and round 8, the final round, will be from Brands Hatch, which is the full Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Then, of course, the cars we will be driving are touring cars. So these are the British touring cars. We have 2 specs. We have a front-wheel drive Toyota, which is a very successful car over there. Most cars in the British touring car are spec, so everything's as close as possible. So it is a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, roughly 370 horsepower, 400 newton meters of torque, roughly 1,270 kilograms dry weight. This is a front-wheel drive drivetrain, and drivetrain, not drivetrain, and a 6-speed sequential manual gearbox. Sorry, a sequential semi-automatic gearbox. And then we have our second car, which is a Infiniti. It's the Infiniti Q50. The Toyota was the Toyota Corolla hatchback. This is also a 2-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Horsepower is slightly less, estimated at roughly 350 plus horsepower. Newton meters of torque is roughly the same at 400 newton meters. The weight is slightly more at 1,280 kilograms. Drivetrain on this is, however, rear-wheel drive, and it has the same 6-speed sequential semi-automatic gearbox. I'll get things right eventually. So just to remind everyone that this is not an official event. This is the Shakedown event, so we will be going live in a moment to qualifying. So this event is just so the guys can get used to the new format of racing, which will be qualifying. We'll have a 30-minute free practice, which doesn't get aired. We will then have a 15-minute qualifying session, which does get aired. That qualifying session sets the starting grid for race 1. We will have a second race. The second race, however, will be started based on a full race 1 results reversed. So if you win race 1, you start last in race 2. If you finish last in race 1, you start first in race 2. Not only that, race 1 will have a standing start, so they will do a formation lap, come up onto the grid, hold their positions, and when the lights go green, they're off. Race 2, however, they will follow the safety car. The safety car will pull into the pits, and at that point it becomes green flag, then they can just go. So it's a full rolling start, which should hopefully aid some of the drivers. So at the moment we seem to be having a few network issues, which I've hoped to resolve, but it looks like we're still having a couple. But we have to just go with what we've got for now. So we're going to cross over to some live cameras at the moment. Let me just get everything ready here. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit behind with all the rush of everything at the moment. So I do apologize for the delays, everything that we have at the moment. Let me just quickly get this all right. I'll get it up in a moment. So we are now going into qualifying proper. So we are now watching live footage. Unfortunately, we straight away see Harvey cars going off there. That particular hill, the crest there, is catching a lot of the guys, especially in the Infinitis, or the way the rear of the car gets light over there. You need to ease off on the throttle. As we see one of the cars doing a wheelie over there. Yeah, a lot of weird warping issues at the moment. Hopefully the server will settle down. So this is officially the intro into the 2022 Alwin BTCC qualifying shakedown qualifying event, however you'd word that, from Landmark Park in Lakeville, Connecticut, United States. I am going to just quickly remove this and just show you our calendar once again while we're seeing, I think it's Marius van Beek in the background going off. That will be our calendar starting next week. From Donington Park, we'll have a round 1, from round 2, Silverstone, round 3, Knockhill, round 4, Thruxton, round 5, Oulton Park, round 6, Assen, round 7, Croft, and round 8, Brands Hatch. Alright, so let's get our everything up and running and see if we can get things looking the way they should. And then perhaps I can move on to other things. So let's see. Alright, so we get our tower. You can hopefully see who's who now. Apologies again for my voice. I definitely have a cold coming on. For some reason, we see some of the drivers struggling to get out of the pits. The car struggles and then they hit the wall and then the replay camera kicks in. So 19 drivers on track at the moment. We have about 24 at the moment signed up. Some that couldn't make it tonight. Hopefully they will. Hopefully the server will sort itself out as well. I'm not too sure what is going on with the server at the moment. I will see what I can do in the background to hopefully alleviate some of these issues that we're having. So in the meantime, I'm just going to leave pictures rolling. Like I said, this is not an official event. This is just to let everyone understand what's going to be happening from the new championship. So in the meantime, I'm just going to take a quick break. I believe I didn't have my audio on. So apologies for that. Alright, so hopefully now we have some audio. I see Hilton saying he's not picking it up, and now he's saying he thinks he's in. Okay, good. I'm glad you're in. Yeah, lots of problems with the server tonight. And hello to everyone in the comments. Hello to Gary Johnson, once again supporting his brother Sean. Good to have Sean joining us. Caroline Yost, good to have you joining us, and saying good luck to everyone. Plumbing Guy, I'm not too sure who you are, but hello, welcome to you. Plumbing Guy JW Trump, hello, and welcome. Thank you for joining. Alright, I am going to once again just go and see if I can alleviate some of our issues that we're having while the drivers are in qualifying. Currently we have 12 minutes left. Lots of glitching on the screen. Unfortunately, that I think is on my side. Something I will have to alleviate by the next round, which I believe I know what the issue is there. So I'm just looking quickly to see if there's something maybe I can just move in the background. Hoping I will get some kind of option here. Okay, I think I see what might be a problem with the server, so that is something I will address perhaps with the second race. I will try something new. Hopefully that solves the issue. With a higher field you need to set things a little different, so I need to adjust my settings. Unfortunately I can't do that now, so hopefully the race 1 won't be too much of a disaster. It is only a shakedown event for the guys to get used to the cars and everything, but yeah, apologies if this is kind of ruining for some of the drivers, and it looks like it is the way some of the cars are glitching and things happening the way it is happening. It does not look pretty. Alright, so I am going to have a look at something on my side and see if I can perhaps get a bit more idea as to what's happening. Alright, let me try and get the second computer connected, and perhaps then we can get a dual screen, and that might also solve some of our visuals. Also just quickly go and check. I'm not sure if Sean will be joining tonight. I did not instruct him to join, and he's not in the chat yet. So, but if Sean does see the comments or see the YouTube, he's up and wants to join, he's welcome to join me tonight. But I am expecting him only to join next week for the official round. Tonight was a thing I decided just to sort of throw it together to let everyone hopefully get used to the event a bit more, and also help me with the server. And then I decided to broadcast it, which in hindsight, with the problems I'm having, maybe wasn't the best idea. But you guys will get an idea of what will happen from next week, hopefully without the issues. Alright, so we're seeing lots and lots of cars going off. Sometimes the server does settle down, sometimes it doesn't. There's lots happening at the moment on the server. 19 guys is quite a strain, but the server can handle it. So I'm sure it's just a setting that we need to dial in. I guess it's a good problem to have extra drivers that's giving you a hard time on your hardware and software. These cars certainly are fantastic to drive, and a challenge to race, the way you have to manage them in the race. Ooh, we're coming across the track, recovering from an incident and collecting another driver. So currently, I believe that's Jean-Andre de Toy in pole position on a 50.3 from Basil van Rijn, Chris Collison, Jandre Duppenaar, Andrew Hollum and Jason Underwood. Then it's Monet de Toy, Dani Stander, Andre Hildebrandt, Timo Smit, Waldo Swiggers, Brandon Roberts, Rian van der Westhuizen, Hilton Nixon, Sean Johnson, Morris van Beek, Stan Bezuidenhout, Harvey Goos and Cole Steeg. Well, fingers crossed. I think the second stream PC has finally decided to play ball. They're just trying to connect at the moment. It's got further than it did earlier. So hopefully we'll have some better visuals shortly, which is generally what I would use for the race, just to have dual visuals so that we can see the closer action. So for race 1 we might have some issues with the connection, but for race 2 I will reset things extremely high and just see if that solves it. So it'll be a bit of a live experiment, so apologies to anything untoward that is seen. I spoke too soon about the other game, it has now crashed. So the second PC is not playing ball at the moment. I will keep trying. So we might not have dual visuals tonight, we might just have single visuals, but that will have to do. Some close calls in the pits. Of course, R-Factor is slightly different to other sims in that in the pits you actually have collisions. So for example, if you do a set of Corsa, you can drive through cars that are ghosted in the pits, but in R-Factor it's like real life. Cars are solid in the pits, as are objects. So we have lots of surprises coming into this series pace-wise. Some drivers that are really, really fast that aren't usually as fast. And I think the pace overall is a lot closer between the slowest guys and the fastest guys. So I think racing is going to be a lot more competitive, especially the race 2 with the full reverse grid. I think that's going to throw a real spanner in the works, so that could be very challenging for some drivers. And hopefully it performs well and gives us a good spectacle. Right, let me try in the background again for our second PC, hopefully that will join. So we see Andre Hildebrandt. He's one of our surprises. He's been extremely fast in the practice days. I believe setting the 4th or 5th fastest time overall. I'm not sure what's happened, but his car was just stranded there. And it was collected by someone. Or perhaps it was just a bit of a glitch. And those are the glitches we are having at the moment for some reason. Try and have this all dialed out by next week and hopefully have a nice smooth event. Of course next week won't be from this track. This track is just a once-off fun event that is also a shakedown event to teach the guys, which This track has been chosen because it kind of mimics one of the other tracks, Brands Hatch, with its undulations. And we see a little bit of weird issues happening with the game again. Unfortunately, I think we're going to be seeing quite a lot of that. Hopefully race 2 we don't, so stick with us. If race 1 is not to your liking with all the issues, please stick with us for race 2. Hopefully we can see how much better it gets. And going to the YouTube comments, we have Richard Silios saying good luck all. Hello Richard and welcome. And we have Monet Deploy. Hello Monet. Yeah, I think it doesn't sound like me. Yeah, I have a cold. My voice is not doing so good. Twins have been sick. I'm sick. So yeah, it's sort of ongoing thing. But otherwise, I'm good. Good to have you joining us. Hopefully your trip away is a productive one and going good. Unfortunately, the server is not going so good at the moment, so a little bit of issues, which are quite serious issues, to be honest. Alright, I am going to try something in the background, totally different, so excuse me while I just try to remove a few things. Let's see if I can try and alleviate some of these issues we're having. Some of the drivers are struggling to get a lap in with the issues that the server is having at the moment, all the glitches, so hopefully the server settles down. Not used to having all these issues. Basil van Rijn now heading out. Of course, Basil is one of our top drivers and likely to be challenging at the front at the moment, sitting currently in second place from Jean-Louis de Tour, who's definitely taken to these cars very well, as is Chris Collison. Chris Collison struggling in our Porsche Super Cup with the nature of those cars and the way that they are so tail happy. These cars, totally different story. He's like a duck in water with these. He's straight away been one of the fastest drivers, and at the moment is the top team harder racing driver. Both Jason and Andrew just can't compete at the moment, although Jason and Andrew are in the Infinity, so we should see something a little different in the race. Perhaps Chris will burn out his tyres. I'm not sure how well his tyre maintenance will go. We will have to see. See one of our cars, I believe that was Yonder Dippenar, I guess. As soon as something goes wrong, that happens. We see flying cars and sparks. It's like a Back to the Future type trick. Alright, so PC2, let's try that one more time. Otherwise I'm going to give up on PC2 for tonight and just focus on our stream, which has just under a minute left in qualifying. So at the moment, Chris Collison has jumped up into second place, demoting Basil van Rijn down to third place. Andre Hildebrandt has jumped up to fourth. So Andre is showing his pace. He's even ahead of Andrew Holland at the moment. Andre Dippenar, Monet de Tour, and Jason Underwood currently only in 8th place. Jason Underwood is our Porsche Super Cup champion. So Jason is no slouch, part of Team Harder Racing. So Andre really is showing good pace. Of course, Andre's been doing really well in the South African Virtual GT series, which is a fantastic series that the top 3 drivers will qualify to drive a GT3 car, which the driver that impresses the most stands a chance to get a full year seat in a GT3 racing series in South Africa next year. Alright, so that's the end of qualifying. Let's jump to an ad break, and we'll be back with you as soon as the race starts for a 20-minute race and see how it goes. So, be back with you shortly.
Non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Well, welcome back, everyone. I believe we are back live. The drivers are now forming up on the grid as you wait for everything to take place. We have about a minute left to go until the drivers will head off on their formation lap. So while the drivers are standing there, let me just remind you that this is the 2022 Alwin British Touring Car Championship, the Shakedown event, race 1, coming to you live from Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut, United States. I am your commentator, Dennis Mitchell. I might possibly be joined by Sean Woodgate later on tonight. Hopefully Sean will be joining. If not, we will have Sean join from next week. So this is a Shakedown event just for the drivers to get familiar with the championship cars and the procedure. Our rounds will be round 1, Donington Park, round 2, Silverstone, round 3, Knockhill, round 4, Thruxton, round 5, Oulton Park, round 6, Assen, round 7, Croft, and round 8, Brands Hatch. Right, as we're getting ready, a couple of seconds left to go. So we can get the timing up. We don't need that just yet, What we do need is to know who's starting where. So let's have a look at our starting order. She's just got itself totally confused. Right, Basil van Rijn will be starting in pole position from Jean-Ray to Toy. Chris Collison in 3rd, Andre Hildebrandt in 4th. Andrew Hollom in 5th, Andre Duppenau in 6th, Monet Dutoy in 7th, and Jason Underwood in 8th. This is not the Alwin Porsche Super Cup, by the way, from Road America. Yarny Stander in 9th, Timo Smith in 10th, Waldo Swiggers in 11th, Brandon Roberts in 12th. Rian van der Westhuizen in 13, Hilton Nickerson in 14, Sean Johnson in 15, Marius van Wyk in 16. In 17 we have Stan Bezadenotes, in 18th Harvey Coase, and in 19th Carl Steeg. Quite a nice full field tonight. Alright, let's get our timing up. Getting everything wrong tonight, so apologies for that, but this is just a shakedown just to warm myself up, I guess. Let's get that up. Let's get that up. Right, so hopefully we have a decent race. Let's see how we go. 19 drivers will now take up on the grid. We see them all weaving, warming up their tyres, which is pretty critical in these cars. The Infinity will take about 2 laps to warm up its tyres. The Toyota will just get going straight away and pull up quite a lead. But the Toyotas will definitely wear their tyres out a lot faster. So in our practice races that we did previously last week, we had a 15-minute race. And at the end of 15-minute races, the Infinity came strong and almost won the race. It was about a second behind the leader, which was a Toyota. So anything can happen, we will see. It's a slightly longer race, so that should make for a lot more competitive racing between the two different manufacturers. Alright, as we see the drivers now taking to the grid, someone has had something happen. For some reason we're seeing the replay of it. Alright, BTCC 2 is not working tonight. I'll have to sort that out. Good, we are 1 PC tonight. Alright, and away we go. Let's see if we have a clean start. Basil Ferrain takes it easy into turn 1. Oh, as I take it easy, gets very sideways. It's for some reason we've seen the replay at the start. Looks like Donington Thunder was slow to get away, and Waldo, I believe, was going to hit him. Someone is standing still there. One of the PZN cars hasn't get pulled away. That is not going to end well. Oh dear. Not sure who that was. Looks like everyone has got away after that. For some reason the camera is showing it to us again. Perhaps we can jump to the car for now. So we see Team Smith moving past, hopefully just lucky enough to get past unscathed there as Waldo comes around as well. So possibly a little bit of damage to some of the cars there. Alright, as we're away. So Basil van Rijn currently leads Chris Collison. Andrew Holland in 3rd, Jean-Andre de Toy in 4th, Andre Dupinard in 5th. Andre Hildebrandt has dropped down to 6th place, unfortunately dropping 2 places. Jason Underwood up to 7th. Brandon Roberts having a good start up to 8th. Timo Smith dropping down, well, actually going up to 9th. Waldo Swiggers 10th, Donnie Stander 11th, Sean Johnson 12th. Morris van Beek 13th. Monet de Toy 14th, Carl Steeg, almost said the Steeg. In 15th, Hilton Nickerson in 16th, Jan van der Westhuizen in 17th, in 18th, Stan Zedner 19th, Harvey Coase. Oh, as we see another incident, that hill, that crest is going to catch many victims tonight. The drivers definitely need to be cautious over that crest. They need to warm their cars up. It looks like a lot of the drivers just aren't doing that, and they're running into the barriers. Base lap by Chris Collison of a 51.332. Drivers all having to take avoiding action there. There's just lots of carnage happening at the moment. This is something for the drivers to learn, to understand these cars, to not make these mistakes. They need to learn how to slowly bring the cars up to temperature to avoid these incidents. You see Waldo going off, unfortunately. Drivers also need to remember that whatever happens in race 1, reflects on race 2 starts. If you have a bad finish in race 1, at least you have a good start position in race 2. As we see Morris from Beck's car doing a Back to the Future hover there. I'm not sure what's happening with the serve, but it seems whenever there's something happening with collision physics, the cars tend to hover. Ooh, Stan Bezadenote losing it there. So lots happening. I think it's going to be a race of attrition by the looks of things. So the drivers need to just slowly pace themselves, let the cars get up to temperature, manage their tyres, keep an eye on their fuel as well. Harvey Coase and Waldo Swiggers having a bit of a collision there. Harvey Coase unfortunately coming off second best. Waiting nicely to make sure the track is safe before he rejoins. I do love Harvey's retro skin colour. See Chris Collison making a move on Basil van Rijn. Chris is going to go around the outside here. Basil's doing everything he can to defend. Chris is just at the fastest lap of a 51.183. A little bit of contact between them. And Chris manages to get past. They are smoking their tyres already, so they are definitely going to wear their tyres out quite quickly. So let's see how the Infinities come strong at the end of the race. So currently our top Infinity is Andrew Holloman third. Sean Johnson is our second Infinity in 8th place. So a good position for Sean at the moment. Just lost the place to Dutoy at the moment. I believe that's Yonder Dutoy. Here we see the Team Harder drivers, Andrew in the Infinity and Chris in the Toyota. So Basil has his hands cut out for him today. So all action at the moment. So Timo Smith not having a very good start at the moment, unfortunately connected by some of the incident at the start. And has lost out quite a bit, and as was Waldo, who he's racing with at the moment. So at least the two of them can have a nice race, and that should give him a decent position for race 2. As we see Waldo locking up slightly. One of the recommendations for RFACT is to set your brake sensitivity to 60. It just creates a non-linear brake pedal movement which helps modulate the brakes a bit easier. It is recommended by one of the developers, so that's a trick to do to help avoid locking up your brakes. And then of course in the car setups you can adjust brake pressure. It is to personal preference to help avoid these things. Car setups are fixed for this series, but drivers are allowed to select tyres, they are allowed to adjust the brakes, brake bias and brake pressure. Tyres, there are softs, mediums and hards, and they're allowed to do independent front and rear, so they could have softs on the front, mediums in the rear, or vice versa, any combination that they like. So Chris Collison pulling away slightly now from Basil van Rijn. Andrew Hollam now challenging Basil. So is Basil's tyres already going? See Fabi Ghost now coming up behind. Who is that? Dan Bezuidenhout, and between them, I'm not sure who that is between them. I believe that is that Dutoy? It is Dutoy, he's a lap down. I believe that's Monet Dutoy. Slightly wide there, it was Basil. So lots of action happening at the moment. We'll slowly see the race settle down and things evolve. So while that's happening, let me just have a quick look at the YouTube channel again. So really saying good luck Team PZN. So yeah, Team PZN have a good showing here again, as well as Team Harder Racing. It looks like the two teams are going to be going at it again this season. Monet saying he's been busy, very very busy, slowly getting back to the racing and the broadcasting, and that this should be a good championship. Yeah, this definitely should be a good championship. Hopefully everything runs smoothly. Looks like the server has settled down slightly, so fingers crossed things get a bit better. Let me say that I spoke too soon. And Gary Johnson saying good luck Sean. Sean's so far having a fairly decent race. Of course, Monet deploys one of our ex-members, and of course runs Sim Racers Room, so if you fancy going to see what he's up to, you can head over to Sim Racers Room. When they used to do our fantastic visuals and videos, I've been doing them since I haven't had time to do the one for this yet, so that's why we didn't actually have one tonight, so hopefully we'll have one by next week. Having kids and things like that, it's been a bit difficult. As we see Stan getting it all wrong and getting his car doing weird things against the wall there. Just having a bit of a moment with the wall. You see Donnie Stunder currently in the pits, as is Marius van Wyk. So it looks like lots of drivers are having collisions and having to pit to fix the repairs. Of course the drivers need to stay in the event to make sure they have a good position for race 2. So Andrew Holland chasing down Basil van Rijn now for second place, as Chris Collison is slowly pulling away and already reeling in one of the back markers. I believe that is Monet du Toit in front of him. So apologies for the visuals. Unfortunately, with the other PC not playing ball tonight, I'm not able to control the cameras that I would usually control the way I would usually do, so, and I can't do the dual screen either, so we're kind of at a basic stream tonight, but at least we get to see the cars on track and see how they evolve over a 20-minute race and how the reverse grid will work. This is just basically an experiment, a trial to see how it all goes, and there might be some fine adjustments for next week. I think it should be fine. 20 minutes should be fine with the order set the way it is. So Andrew Holland getting really, really close behind Basil. In our previous race that we did as a test race at Zandvoort, Basil was the driver that won and I was the driver in the Infinity that caught up. I qualified, I think, 4th. But by the end of the race I was right behind Basil, and at one point Basil had about a 7 or 8 second lead on me. And his tyres just started to go at the end, and there was just lots of smoke, and his lap time started to drop, and in the last 2 or 3 laps I really caught up fast. So that was a 15-minute race. If that was a 20-minute race, I would have been able to pass him because his tyres were gone. So if Basil's already having tyre problems now, we're only at the halfway mark, 10 minutes in. Has he already shot his tyres? It's very easy to spin the front tyres on these front-wheel drives, especially if you get slightly sideways. The trick is just when you put your foot down slightly, it pulls it straight. But that also wears the tyres out. You see Monet du Toit. It's Monet du Toit in 6th, so that is Jean-Ray du Toit in 18th. My apologies. I'm getting the father and son mixed up. I just assumed that Jean-Ray was the one doing better. But Monet having a great race. So Monet challenging Andre Hildebrandt. Andre Hildebrandt in a fantastic guns and colours. Right behind Harvey Koos at the moment. Of course, Harvey Koos is being lapped. I'm not sure he's aware that he's being lapped. We see a replay of the move. Three wide there. In the background we see the EC GT car, which is a company owned, a team owned by Hilton Nicholson. And there we see Hilton going off, unfortunately. Easy GT is sponsored by TopTech IT. TopTech IT is owned by Hilton Nixon, so he is their title sponsor. So lots happening. We have Rian van der Westhuizen going off as well. Of course, Rian van der Westhuizen has had a pretty major operation of recent and is back into driving, so good to have him back. Unfortunately not driving at 100%. In the background looked like we saw someone else going possibly into the barrier. I'm not sure if this is just some glitches. It looked like an occasional glitch there. So is that Brandon Robert behind Monet at the moment? It is. So Monet having a look at Andre and Brandon sitting right behind them. Brandon looks like he's chasing really, really hard, catching them. I think Andre is holding up Monet slightly, which is strange. Andre has had good pace. Currently in 5th place, so his pace is not bad. But perhaps he's burnt his tyres out, or perhaps he's actually pacing himself and Monet is pushing too hard. We'll see. 7 minutes left to go. Chris Collison with a 2.2 second lead from Basil van Rijn. Andrew Holland still stuck behind Basil, so not able to get past Basil at the moment. Not the easiest track to get past on either. Sorry about that. Clicking on a screen I shouldn't have clicked on. looks like. Waldo Swiggers doing a wheelie over the crest there. The Infinity does not like that crest. If you come over that crest and you keep your foot down, that happens. So you need to roll off just enough, not lose too much momentum, and get your foot down as quick as possible. If you do it too soon, you sit with an excursion into the barrier. You see Timo up the inside of Sean Johnson. Stan Bezadno taking advantage of it as well. And I believe that's Hilton Dixon right behind them. So battles all the way through the field here, lots of racing. So currently our position, Sean Johnson there in 11th place. Sean looking good. Sean has actually been struggling slightly with his cars. They're doing very well, all things considered. So currently our position, as we see Monet having a look again up the inside of Andre. Getting very close between these three drivers. So in first place we have Chris Collison. Oh, we see Morris and Blake going off there. I believe that's Morris just getting out the way for the leaders. Second place we have Basil van Rijn. Third place Andrew Holland. Fourth place we now have Andre Duppenau. Fifth place Andre Hildebrandt. Sixth place we have Monet de Toy. I'm not sure why we're seeing Waldo Swiggers in the pits. Is he in the pits? Something weird just happening there. We have changes for position. We have our camera is deciding to focus on what's happening in the pits and glitching away here. Why is it focusing on that? You want to see the action. Right. Let's go on board here. So Monet has finally got past Andre. Alright, so with Monet now in 5th place, Andre in 6th place, will Brandon Robert now be able to challenge Andre? 4.5 minutes left to go. All to play for. So it was showing that Waldo was in the pits, but it's not showing him as retired, so I'm not sure what has happened there, but he is 2 laps down, so obviously having had lots of incidents. Maurice van Dijk is 6 laps down, having had a few more incidents. Chris Collison is actually pulling away at quite a rate now from Andrew Holland, who has actually finally got into 2nd place. Let's keep an eye on that. 4 minutes to go, he's 3 seconds behind. He's finally got past Basil, but is there any time left for him to catch? Let's see how his lap times compare. On the previous lap, Chris did a 52.3, Andrew did a 52 dead. That was the lap that included passing Basil, so let's see how well his lap times. Already the times are coming down slightly. 2.7, we haven't even finished the lap yet. So let's see. We'll wait for the drivers to cross the line, then we can see what happens lap time wise. As we go on board with Andre Hildebrandt following Monet de Toy. Alright, as the drivers now crossing the lap, a 52.7 for Chris Collison and a 52.2 for Andrew, so Andrew half a second faster. I don't think he's going to have enough time. Unless the gap difference gets bigger and bigger, I don't think he's going to be able to catch. So Hilton in 16th place at the moment, Team ECGT. Carl Stieg. We've seen the background Marius from making one. Carl Stieg in 9th place. So that's a good result. Having started 19th, he's worked his way up through the field. He's right behind Jason Underwood, our current champion from the Porsche Cup, as they're going past Rian van der Westhuizen. I'm not sure, I presume Rian is being lapped, so he's just maybe moving over for them. So that's a battle between Jason Underwood and Carl Stieg for 8th place. You see Marius van Wyk once again heading off into the barrier. That fantastic skin, unfortunately, not giving him much luck tonight. So Stan Bezadno now. So we can go back to the Carl Stieg battle rather. Let's go there. So lots of action happening here. Carl Stieg. This camera just sits and going everywhere else, but Chris Collison has been taken out. What has happened? So Chris Collison, looks like they've been in traffic. Can the camera catch it? Oh, there's an incident there. So Andrew Holland had caught up quite a lot. I think that's just due to the back markers, Chris being cautious. And unfortunately, Chris has been caught out while getting past him. Going 3 wide. He was just squeezed. He was in the middle. So currently in 3rd place. So Andrew Holland currently in the lead with a minute to go. Basil van Rijn in 2nd. Chris Collison in now 3rd. Andre Dippenhoff 4th. Monet du Toit. Sorry. Yes, Monet du Toit in 5th. Brandon Robert has just taken 6th place. So he has finally got past Andre. So perhaps we can have a look at that. So he's past Andre. Is he going to be able to catch Monet? There's just under a minute left to go. I think I'll be able to finish this lap and maybe one more lap. So he's got a lap and a half to try and make a move. As we see the fantastic Gunston livery there. So Monet under pressure at the moment. Andre running slightly wide. This track is definitely a little bit more harsh to the infinities when it comes to the curb. Some tracks play to one car's advantage and some tracks to others. This is definitely playing to the Toyota's advantage with the undulation of the curbs. You can be a lot more aggressive over the curbs. The Infinity you have to be a bit more delicate. But Chris Collison has tested both cars and had pretty much the same times in both cars, so they are both very capable cars. We have now, of course, time-wise we have finished. So we are watching our championship leader, our race leader, coming across the line to take the win. Basil van Rijn taking 2nd place. Chris Collison taking 3rd place. Andre Dippenhoff in 4th place. You see Donnie Stander and Stan Bezednert coming across the line. Harvey Kroos coming across the line in 17th place. I think Harvey enjoyed that race. See Carl Steeg coming across the line. He got ahead of Jason Underwood. Waldo Swiggers in 18th place at the moment. Let's see where Timo Smit, Ryan van der Weste is coming across the line. Timo Smit coming across the line in 10th place. Just behind him, Maurice van Beek taking 19th place. Hilton Nixon 15th place at the moment. So leaders are finishing. We have Hilton coming across the line. Alright, so that's the end of race 1. I am going to go put on some ads, reset the server. We'll be back with you within probably 5 minutes. I'm going to leave the rolling ads going, so we might be about 5 minutes while we get everything going, but please stick with us. We'll be back for race 2 with a full reverse grid. So Marius van Beek will be starting in pole position with Waldo Swiggers alongside him. We'll be back shortly. If I can find the right thing to click on. Right, so welcome back everyone. Sorry about the lengthy delay, but unfortunately we're waiting for one of the drivers who has not returned. Right, so this of course is race 2 of our 2022 Alwin British Touring Car Championship. So, starting from pole position we have Walter Swiggers at the moment. I am your commentator Dennis Mitchell. Sean Woodgate will be your commentator for the actual series, but he's not with us tonight. Coming to you live from our Shakedown event from Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut, United States. So this is a Shakedown event and not at all influential on our championship. Our championship will start next week from Donington Park for round 1 on the 7th of August, round 2 Silverstone on the 14th of August, round 3 Knockhill on the 21st of August, round 4 Thruxton on the 28th of August, round 5 Oulton Park on the 4th of September, round 6 Assen on the 11th of September, round 7 Croft on the 18th of September, round 8 Brands Hatch on the 25th of September. That's all of course hoping that there's no load shedding. So this of course will be a rolling start, so slightly different to our previous start procedure. We do have a safety car in front as we now see that safety car. So while we're all watching them follow the safety car, let us have a look at our starting order. So, as I had mentioned, we have Walter Swiggers in pole position, with Harvey Host taking up second place on the grid from Stan Bezadnote in third and Yelton Nickerson in fourth place for Team ECGT. In 5th place, Jandre de Toy. In 6th place, Rian van der Westhuizen. In 7th place, Sean Johnson. In 8th place, Timo Smit. In 9th place, Jason Underwood. In 10th place, Carl Stieg. 11th place, Andre Hildebrandt. And 12th place, Brandon Roberts. In 13th place, Mone de Toy. 14th place, Jean-Ray Dupinon. Chris Collison in 15th place, Basil van Rijn in 16th place. In 17th place, Andrew Hollum, and in 18th place, Julian, who has just joined. He missed race 1, so he starts from last place, unfortunately. Alright, so let us get our timing and everything in order, so that we can at least know what's happening. Right, get everything up and running. Of course, this championship will be brought to you by Alwin Automotive Glass, so if you have any automotive glass needs, head over to www.alwin.co.za. The drivers are about to get going and we have a green flag, so it's all go. Harvey Coast getting a good start there, so Harvey Coast will lead into turn 1. We have Timo Smit on the inside and on the dirt. It looks like, I believe that's Mone de Toy in second, that was Jandre de Toy in second now, Waldo down to third. Timo Smit into fourth as we see Stan Bezadnote running wide there. Rian van der Westhuizen all over the back of Jason Underwood at the moment. As we see one of our drivers, apologies for the stuttering. Sure what on earth is going there. I think you know what that is. Apologies. Right. Trouble on my part. So unfortunately lots happening. Drivers coming together there. Maybe that's the ECGT guys. I believe that's Yelton coming together, I think with Andre. Quite a few guys getting involved. This is unfortunately what happens with this grid. You have to be careful coming through the field. That's the challenge that you are dealt with, to make sure that you don't have any issues, as we see Jason Underwood having an issue. Unfortunately having to dodge it looks like a glitching car in front of him maybe. They have increased the server bandwidth quite a lot, so I'm not sure why we're having so many issues tonight. Currently we have Jandre de Toy in first place from Walter Swiggers, Sean Johnson in third place, as you see Julian unfortunately losing it there, and just coming around and in fourth place Rian van der Westhuizen, in fifth place Andre Hildebrandt, Mone de Toy in sixth, Jandre Dupinon in seventh, Carl Stieg in eighth, Brandon Robert in ninth, and Hollum in 10th. So we're going to slowly watch as the drivers come through the field. Let's see who goes strong. Sean Johnson having a fantastic start up into third at the moment. Sean is always a driver on my radar. I expect him to do well. He's usually very consistent. So we see Jason Underwood just losing it there, getting over the crest, getting all sideways, correcting and overcorrecting. So not going well for him. Chris Collison having just set the fastest lap of the race. Chris having been involved in that collision is currently 15th place, so lots to do for Chris. Let's see how far he can progress through the field. So Walter Swigger still in second from Jean de Toy in first. You see Jason Underwood now, 16th place. So some of the drivers that we were expecting to do really well have not done well. Harvey Coase has unfortunately gone off at some point, so he's currently in 18th place from leading the race. Basil van Rijn currently 9th, Andre Hildebrand 10th, Brandon Robert 10th. Brandon Robert is now fighting with Andre, so good battle here between them. It's Carl Steeg in front of them as you see the cars get light over the crest and the wheel lifts up like that. Hilton Dixon right behind them as well, catching up. So all things happening. Oh dear, a little bit of contact there. That's Dan Zadner taking a bit too much curb. Collison doing well to avoid Stan coming back on track there. Stan looks like going off again. So Stan not having a very good second race at the moment. Walter Swiggers at the moment having a great second race. Sean Johnson having a great second race. And 180 Toy also having a good second race. Andre Duppenau currently in 5th. Rian van der Westhuizen in 6th. Watching Stan unfortunately going off quite a lot. Let's have a look at perhaps Rian van der Westhuizen. Alwin Racing Jack Daniels sponsored livery. Looks absolutely fantastic. See on YouTube we have quite a few spam things that I have removed, so hopefully that's all gone. Right, back to the action. Jean de Toy is going to pull away in race 2. So perhaps after this we can have the interview with the top 3 drivers in both rounds. Both races, I should say. So side by side here, Andrew going around the inside of Rian just taking a little bit of grass there. Doing well to keep it on the road. Basil van Rijn right behind him at the moment. Oh, I believe that's Sean Johnson that's gone off. Yes it is. Oh dear. Sean was doing so well. That's a shame. It's a real shame. Odd things happening with the network connection at the moment. I'm not sure what's causing this. We have plenty of bandwidth, so we shouldn't have an issue. See Harvey Coase going past there. So Jason Underwood currently in the pits at the moment. Harvey Coase has managed to pick up 2 places thanks to everyone else going off. So Stan Bezuidenhout's gone off several times. Jason Underwood has had an incident and had to pit. So Walter Swiggers, 2nd place still. Monet de Toy, 3rd place. Andrew Holland now, 4th place. Andrew Holland doing really good to get through the field. Showing what you need to do to survive race 2, starting from the back. Basil van Rijn, likewise, started from the back, currently 5th place. Rian van der Westhuizen hanging in there with them. Andre Duppenau has now dropped down to 7th place. Timo Smith in 8th place. Sean Johnson after his incident is now in 9th place. Chris Collison, 10th place, slowly coming back through the field. Looks like Andre having a bit of a battle at the moment. So perhaps we can go and keep an eye on that and see what's happening. This cameraman decides to always do its own thing, doesn't want to listen to me. Oh dear, Sean Johnson has got a DNF, so something has happened to Sean Johnson and unfortunately he has gone off. He had to retire. From being really solid in 3rd place to retirement. There he is on the pits, unfortunately retired. Alright, so let's have a look at Walter Swiggers. Currently in no man's land between a 12-second gap to Jean de Toy in 1st and an 18-second gap behind to Basil van Rijn. So Basil, I believe, is 6 seconds behind him. 0.9 behind Waldo. So Waldo's kind of just sitting on his own. But Mornay du Toit currently sitting right with Basil at the moment. In the background we see Rian van der Westhuizen also with cars right behind him. I believe this is a delayed image because the timing screen is showing something else. As Basil is still ahead of Mornay du Toit. Julian slowly coming forward. Carl Steeg slowly going backwards. Steeg has now also had a DNF, so unfortunately losing places, maybe having an incident or a collision with another driver. Not sure, we will find out, I'm sure, after the event. It's a shame though. So it looks like, barring any incidents, Jean-Louis du Toit has got this race in the bag. With 11 minutes to go, he's halfway through the race. He's got a 16-second lead over Waldo Swiggers. Timo Smit currently in 6th place. He's moving through the field nicely as well. Chris Collison now 7th place behind him, 4 seconds back. So Stan Bezadenote having a little bit of incident, sticking to the inside there. Rian van der Westhuizen sitting right behind Chris Collison at the moment. So Rian having a good race. Timo slowly getting to grips with his car and getting his pace up, managed to survive enough to get a decent result. Unfortunately, he was involved with a slight collision at the start, but he didn't lose enough that it's hindered him too much. He is top 6 at the moment, and he can still make a few places up depending on how the race unfolds. I don't think Jean-Louis du Toit is catchable at the moment, but maybe 2nd place depending on tyre wear and driver errors. Right, Stan Bezadenote is now in the pits for repairs. Not surprising, having seen all the times he's been off. Oh, bit of a collision there between. Was that Yandre Dupinard and Timo? That was very close. I think Timo maybe just got on the curb and that's why the car got a bit sideways. On its side. With Julian, I presume he's going to lose the rear over the crest. Good time to have the Alwin sponsor pop up as we have a slow-mo. Not just doing a wheelie by the looks of things. He came down skew. Oh boy. That crest is really, really bad. Hopefully the other tracks are not going to have those kinds of issues and they should be much better. That particular crest is really, really devastating. Some cars, just the way the car gets light and the tires come down and grip, and then if you're pointing in the wrong direction, that's where you go. Fantastic looking skin though. Right, Timo and his Minions racing car up behind the PZN Racing of Yandre Dupinard. See once again Stan Bezadenote off. Not sure what happened there. Looked like he started to get into a slide, corrected and went opposite way. Bit of a snap oversteer. Some barrier once again. Perhaps we can have a look at our leader, Jean-Louis du Toit. That was it. The cameraman decided to change as soon as the cameraman doesn't want to listen to me tonight. So Basil van Rijn right behind Waldo Swiggers at the moment, so this is the battle for 2nd place, so Waldo's going to have to defend here. Let's see how the tyres hold out. His tyres tend to get burnt out towards the end, so maybe Waldo has enough tyre in hand to defend. So Timo Smit having a good look here. Andre holding him off. So some good racing going on here. I just realised that we have 2 drivers that didn't rejoin the race. One of them was Donnie Stander, unless there was an issue and he disconnected, and the other was Morris van Beek. Yeah, it's Julian making us. Jason getting past 3 on there. Unfortunately, Julian joined, but 2 others disconnected, so 18 drivers where we could have maybe had 20. While the server is doing this, it's just not good. But anyway, onto the positives. These cars are really fantastic to race. Unfortunately, lots of incidents happening throughout the race. Hopefully the stream is going alright. If anyone can just let me know if sound and everything is alright. So Basil van Rijn still right behind Waldo Swiggers. Basil looking up the inside of Waldo at the moment. Is he going to hit the barrier? Is he going to survive without contact? I think he's going to make contact, judging by the angle of the car. Yep, slight brush, so it looks like he's survived alright. We have Rian and Brandon, his teammate, right behind him. So Timo, still trying hard here. The team having a really good fight at the moment for 5th place. In the background we have Chris Collison and I believe that's... is that Andrew? Well, it's saying it's not Andrew. It's saying that Hilton is behind Chris, so that must not be for place. That must be... See, Andrew Holland is 2 laps down. I'm not sure what's happened to Andrew. I've missed that somewhere along the line. So Andrew is driving right behind Chris at the moment. Unless that's Jason. But that's not for position. So Jason is 1 lap down. Andrew is 2 laps down. So Team Harder Racing not having a good race too. Chris Collison is in 7th place at the moment, so at least faring a lot better. Right, so they were 18, they're now 16. With just under 5 minutes left to go. Jean Victoria currently in the lead from Basil van Rijn and Waldo Swiggers. So Basil has indeed got past Waldo. So Morning Victoria now getting close to Waldo. So Waldo's got to be careful. Coming through the lap traffic, he might end up losing another place. So we see Harvey Kroos going off in front of him. I don't know if that's going to put Waldo off. Perhaps that means Harvey won't be able to move out of the way quick enough. So Timo's going to have Chris Collison all over the back of him shortly. What's the camera doing? The camera does that, you know there's an incident. He's going to lose it over the crest. Is it Waldo? Is it Basil? Is it Harvey? No, it's just a little bit of wheeling. We see Marshall showing the blue flag to Harvey. Outside and allow the leader past. Second place. So Monet now getting past Waldo. So Harvey now being swallowed up by the pack. Very difficult to give enough space here. Not easy for a driver being lapped. Harvey trying his best to keep out of the way there. Good driving, thank you Harvey. Very tight track and sometimes it's not as easy. The lead drivers can sometimes curse, but it's not always as easy. The drivers at the back also trying to race their own race and sometimes you just can't move over without ruining your own race, so the leader just has to be a bit patient. Harvey doing his best to try and stay out of the way and unfortunately getting into an incident as a result. Harvey trying his best to let the leaders past. So Harvey currently in 13th place. He's actually ahead of Jason Underwood, Andrew Holland, Sam Bezadner, Carl Steegen, Sean Johnson. Carl Steegen and Sean Johnson have unfortunately had DNFs. Oh, Waldo Swiggers going wide there. Is he on the dirt? Oh, I think he might have just touched it, but managed to survive. And Timo's now up the inside of him. Or now around the outside. Inside to outside. Looks like he's got the move. Chris Collison right behind him. I believe that's moved down on Waldo. Now Chris is going to attack as well. Waldo's lost his momentum from that. Tyres might be a bit dirty as well. Camera's looking at this battle here. And they're chasing Yandre down. This, of course, is a battle for third place. But at the moment we have a PZN 1, 2, 3, 4. Chris Collison has indeed got past Waldo Swiggers. Did Waldo make a mistake? Oh, there goes the signboard. As we see now. Oh, looked like there was a bit of contact. Maybe moving over to defend, not realizing that the other car was right there. Ooh, a bit of contact as well, secondary contact. So lucky that they both survived that fairly unscathed. Let's just see it again. Now from Chris's point of view. Another contact there. Ooh, also spinning off as a result. Right, two Team ECGT guys. Really, really close together at the moment. So Team Honours here, looks like Hilton's got the advantage at the moment. So Hilton currently in 8th place. Good showing by them. 8th and 9th. Andre Hildebrandt, I'm surprised, isn't having the race that I was expecting he would. Didn't have the pace in race 1. Maybe not able to get through the pack as easy, and he is a lap down already. So Team Smith still trying his best here. Trying his best to get 4th place. They have, of course, had a driver of Waldo Swiggers lose out, so they are 1 place higher up. So Waldo Swiggers is still currently ahead of Chris Collison due to their incident. So just half a minute left to go. Jean-Louis Dutoy from Basil van Rijn. Yandre Dippenaar, that's our top 3. Monet Dutoy in 4th, Timo Smit in 5th, Waldo Swiggers in 6th, Chris Collins in 7th, Hilton Nixon in 8th, Brandon Roberts 9th, Julian Bryce in 10th, Grant van der Westhuizen in 11th. Ooh, I believe that's Andre off again. Oh dear, running it slightly wide. The grass here is not very grippy. Some tracks the grass has actually got enough grip where you can salvage it. Yeah, it's definitely very slick. Alright, as we see the drivers now around. I believe they're all on their final lap, so this is Jean-Louis Dutoy heading. Just keeps changing. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch the leader. Please listen to me, camera. Right, so Jean-Louis Dutoy, currently our leader, in his final lap. The laps are so short, it's very hard to catch everything here. Especially when you've got an auto camera that's taking over the offline as well. Automatic camera that takes over and does its own thing. So Jean-Louis is finished. Unfortunately we missed the last bit because of the camera doing its own thing. I wish I could just turn off his replay feature. It's actually really annoying. I will look into that and try and remove that autoplay replay feature. Because that just gets all the wrong action at the wrong time and it shows it too many times. Once I have the second screen up and running, I can do a lot more. So apologies for tonight only being a single screen and all issues tonight with the server, with various other things. So just a rough shakedown event. So hopefully next week will be smoother running. A lot to learn from this tonight. So Jean-Louis Dutoy from Basil van Rijn, Andre Dippenaar, Monet Dutoy, Timo Smit, Waldo Swiggers, Chris Collison. Perhaps we can actually have a look at our. Let's turn off all of this and we can actually look at the results. Let's do it the proper way. While the drivers are driving in, let's have a look at our results. Excuse all the other stuff at the top. That is something I will correct for the actual round. I actually forgot about that, so some of the pictures here look a bit odd. Which is quite strange. Anyway, Jean-Louis Dutoy from Basil van Rijn, Andre Dippenaar, Monet Dutoy, Timo Smit, Waldo Swiggers, Chris Collison, Hilton Nixon, Brandon Roberts, Rian van der Westhuizen. In 11th place, Julian Bryce, Andre Hildebrandt in 12th, Jason Underwood in 13th, Harvey Koos in 14th, Andrew Hollum in 15th, Stan Bezuidenhout in 16th, Carl Steeg in 17th, and Sean Johnson in 18th. So well done to all our drivers. I am going to head off to an ad break now and then go find some of the drivers, the top 3 drivers overall, and see if we can do a bit of interview and maybe just chat to a few more of the drivers. So stay with us, I'll be back shortly. All right, welcome back, everyone. So we are joined for our interviews for our Shakedown event. So this is, of course, the Shakedown event for our British Touring Car Championship, the 2022 Alwin British Touring Car Championship, starting next week. This was the Shakedown event live from Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut, United States. So tonight's series will wrap up with our interviews and then our outro video. So interviews, we don't have third place, which would have been Chris Collison. Unfortunately, can't make it. So we have first, second, and third. So PZN drivers, Basil van Rijn, Yandre Dippenaar, and Monet de Toy. So congratulations, guys, and well done. Let's start with Basil. Congratulations. That was a win for the overall double event. How was your tyre wear towards the end of the races? Because I know in our previous race at Zandvoort, you seemed to have a lot of tyre wear. Was it worse here, or did you manage to manage it better, or was it just, getting more used to the car? Yeah. Yeah, I guess the guys are still getting used. They're gonna have to learn how to drive these cars, which is kind of what the Shakedown event is. Give the guy a bit more chances to learn it before the actual event, because the racing is very close. So I was expecting a few incidents here, but hopefully the guys will learn from that for the next round. Yes, for sure. And in second place we have Yandre Dippenaar, also a PZN panel beater. So oh, that should be Yandre the Toy. Sorry about that. No, I've got the right one in chat. I've got the wrong one on our display here. So apologies there. So Yandre, great race from you. Perhaps you can give us a bit of info on your race while I hopefully go and correct that in the background. Well, that's quite good that you had such bad luck and you managed to still actually work your way back up. To still, get second overall is good result. All right. Well, then let's head to Monet, your father. Monet, congratulations on your fourth place. That was a fantastic result from you. You seem to be doing well with these cars. Yeah, you seem to be quite consistent. Certainly in race 2, you seem to be moving forward a lot more. So maybe it's, you're getting more used to the car. You learn a little bit of throttle control a bit better, limit the wheel spin. But your pace seemed to improve at the end of the race in race 2 more than it did in race 1. Okay, and then I'm going to apologize because it seems like I was correct. The driver in second place is Yandre Dippenaar. So perhaps I can just quickly drag Yandre in. Hopefully he's not busy swearing in the background. So, Yandre, welcome. I realized I had the wrong driver in for second place here, so apologies. It's actually you that is in second place. So perhaps you can give us a bit of history on your race tonight. And I will correct this in the meantime. Yeah, it seems like quite an interesting race. Race 1 and race 2, there were some drivers that I expected to do better in race 2. And for example, one of the drivers that was doing really good in race 2 was Sean Johnson. He was running in third for a long time and then had an incident. So it's nice to see the mix-up in the field. But of course, you always have the top guys that make their way to the top. So yourself, Basil, and yourself, Yandre, you guys are getting to the top no matter what. So Good to see. And I think the championship's going to be very close as we go through all the races. Yes, and especially if you have Basil doing as good as he's doing now. Because at the moment, just going at the points, the rough points, I've just used the original British Touring Car Championship points. And going on that, Basil got 36 points for this round. Yondre, yourself, you got 28. Chris got 27. Monet, you got 24. So the points are close, but unfortunately, Basil's got a bit of a gap on you guys there of 8 points. Yes. Well, that's what you have race 2 for, to keep them back. And you don't have to catch them, you just have to block them. Yes. I think some tracks might, be easier to defend than other tracks, but this track is certainly not an easy track to race on. It's very tight. And especially with that one crest that catches the guys out. It caught out a lot of drivers tonight. Yeah, they seem to land slightly skew and then it just grips and swings the car around. But alright, so it's a bit of a learning curve for some of the drivers, but it's good. At least the guys got to experience their cars in a race in the same time as we're going to be racing, a 20-minute race. So let's start with Basil and then we go to Yondre and then Monet. Give us some feedback on what the tyre wear was like. So, Basil, you first. Okay, just also apparently there's a problem with the interview, so perhaps don't talk any further. Let me just check what's happening with the sound here, because apparently nothing is coming through. It should be and it's not, so hopefully now it will come through. So unfortunately, no one's heard anyone there. So let's go back to Basil and just give a brief rundown of your race, just quickly, because everyone has not heard you.
Oh, so well, first race, first three, 4 laps. Yes, the guys was just so quick. Chris and I said Andrew, huh?
Yes.
Yes, I don't know how they do it, but they're so smooth and they don't make any mistakes. Race 2 was a bit better with the reverse grid. Yes, the guys made a lot of mistakes, and luckily my team was lying nicely. But I think we were lying first to fourth, so yeah, awesome to the team. And yeah, let's take it from here.
Okay. And then, Yondre, to you once again, if you can give us a quick, brief rundown. Unfortunately, I screwed up with the sound there, so apologies for that.
No problems. Yeah, the first race was quite hectic and I tried too hard in the first 3 to 4 laps, burned the tires. Therefore, I was 2 seconds down on my lap time, so I just tried to keep it there, keep the guys behind me. Back markers was also playing a role there. So yeah, it's not that easy, and I think it's going to be a nice champion.
It's certainly going to be close. And
Definitely.
And Monet, any comments from yourself on the race?
Yeah, it's only the first race the start was balls up. We didn't hear that, the router. And I ended up 14th and had my way back to, I think, 5th or 6th. So, but it was not so easy. And second race was much better, except for the tires. I see from the 5th lap of the 5th last one, then the tires start getting worn out. So yeah, otherwise we have to keep it smooth.
Okay, and then one other thing, a question to all of you. What's the fuel usage like in these cars? I'll start with Basil.
No, it's actually not bad. It's under a liter, so we use 28 liters to start the race with, and it's actually not bad. I mean it's a turbo car and everything, so yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yes, that's quite good actually.
Yeah, it's not bad. No, it's very nice.
All right, then perhaps we can have some other guys come join us just for a quick chat. I'm just going to drag in guys. Hopefully they're not too busy chatting about other things. Hopefully they keep quiet. So we have Jason Underwood joining us and Julian Bryce joining us. So good evening, Jason and Julian.
What up, guys?
Hello, hello,
Yes.
hello.
I thought I'd just drag you guys in since you're the only other two guys still around. So do you guys want to give us a bit of feedback on what you thought the race was like? Let's start with Julian.
I thought it was fantastic. That was one of my first races here in Odd Factor, and I loved it. We're just having a little bit of a look here to see if there was a bit of contact made at some point. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun. I mean, I'm loving Odd Factor.
That's good. And a lot of guys tend to have a lot of issues with R factor, so it can be a bit buggy. So it's good when it works. It's good.
100%. I've had it for such a long time, and I've never been able to get it to work. And with your guys' help, it's all happening, eh? So yeah, exciting, and I can't wait to race some more.
That's good to hear. And then Jason, from your point of view, you are our current Porsche Super Cup champion. You seem to have a really tough race tonight.
Yeah, it was wasn't really a race. It was more demolition derby, to be honest. But yep, we can all learn from this race. But yeah, it's good to see a big group of guys coming, and let's hope we're gonna have a good championship.
Yeah, I think the other tracks might be a little bit less brutal than this, which is one of the reasons why this was a good track for a shakedown. This is as hard as it gets, with that one crest and catching the guys out, especially the guys in the Infinity. And just the nature of this track, it's a very difficult track. If you run wide, there's not much runoff, and if you get on the sand or the grass, it just sort of pulls you into the barriers. Plus, there's the crests that are a problem. So I think this is, the worst case scenario. So the championship should be looking a lot nicer with the tracks coming up. But perhaps then we can have a final shout out.
What are some of the tracks that are coming up?
All right, well, let's have a look at those. I'll just quickly put that on screen and explain it to you. So our championship consists of round 1 will be Donington Park, which is the 7th of August. Round 2 will be from Silverstone on the 14th of August. Round 3 will be Knockhill on the 21st of August. Round 4 is Thruxton on the 28th of August. Round 5 is Oulton Park on the 4th of September. Round 6 will be Assen on the 11th of September. Round 7 will be Croft on the 18th of September, and round 8, our final round, will be from Brands Hatch on the 25th of September. So 8-round championship, all British tracks except for Assen, which replaces Snetterton because we don't have a good enough Snetterton for this. But those tracks are all fantastic and should make for exciting racing.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right, well then I'm going to say good night to everyone, and let's do some shout outs from all of you guys if you'd like to all have a shout out. So let's start at the top in the list in the chat group. Basil, do you want to do a shout out?
Yeah, man. Just big thank you to everyone racing with us, and to some experience hosting an awesome league. And to all the sponsors involved, thank you guys, and to everyone here in the chat, and especially to my team tonight. It was awesome. Thank you guys.
Cool, thanks. I'm going to kick you out as I finished with you.
Cool.
All right, and then Julian, any shout outs from your side?
I just say shout out to you guys. Thanks for having me. It's been great. And to all the other guys that are trying to race with us, DP Boy, Justin, all the guys that I race with, they should start getting involved with Odd Factor too.
Definitely.
So let's go.
All right, thanks, and cheers.
Ciao, man.
And Yondre, shout out from your side.
Dennis, thank you for hosting this event for us, streaming it. We appreciate it. We do love it. And then, for the team, thanks, guys. It was nice racing. And all the supporters, thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you had a good race.
Thank you.
And Jandre, your turn for a shout out.
Thanks for hosting this. I think I'm excited for this new league. Hopefully we have some close battles with Team Harder. And I hope we can keep it clean and make it fun for everyone.
Yeah, amen to that. I'll catch you next week.
Cheers.
And then Monet, any shout outs from your side?
Yeah, Dennis, I just want to say thanks for hosting this whole event, R Factor, and with all your troubles for the server. We appreciate it. And
Thank you.
And to be patient. And yeah, thank you to the PZN team for a good night's ride. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, great ride for the PZN guys tonight.
Yeah.
So well done again.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. And Jason, finally to you. Any shout outs from your side?
Yeah, well, obviously to yourself, Dennis, to all the guys in the production team, and to all competitors for this championship. Let's have a good one. It's going to be interesting. So, yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it.
Well, see you next week for round 1.
Perfect.
Okay. Cheers, Jason.
Cheers, Dennis. Bye.
Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you to all the YouTube comments. Sorry about the interviews being silent for a while there. Unfortunately, finger trouble. Having a few issues here tonight. Everything seems to have gone wrong. Thankfully, it's just a Shakedown event. But thank you to Caroline for letting me know that the interviews had no sound. And thank you to everyone else for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully this is just a tip of what's to come. It looks like we're going to have a good number of drivers and some good close racing. So hopefully the tracks make for some good driving. And the drivers have learned from tonight's event how to drive nice and close amongst each other and not cause any issues. So fingers crossed we have a good successful event and championship. But congratulations to all the drivers tonight for taking part. There were in total 20 drivers, which is a very good showing. So thank you to everyone for taking part. And we will catch you guys all next week for round 1 of the 2022 Alwin British Touring Car Championship. Proudly brought to you by Alwin Automotive Glass. Good night, and remember, if you enjoyed this, to hit the like and subscribe button, and we will catch you all next week.